The phrase fake it till you make it is actually way more important than you may think, and a phrase that I live by. All these cliche phrases are actually way more important than you might think and could actually change your life. Hey icons, welcome back to After Hours, the second episode. It's been a while since the first episode. I was busy doing vlogs and stuff. Almost just threw up. So let's start with our first segment, my notes app. Imagine being so psychotic that you take notes and make a Pinterest board of your outfits for a 3-day trip. And hear me out, this was a very important trip because it's my dream city to live in, and so I needed to make an impression, okay? I made an entire Pinterest board just for that. So, things that were and are my Super Bowl. Number one, any fashion show, especially Victoria's Secret fashion shows. I am sat watching those. Like, I just love that. I actually want to be part of it in the future. The Hashtag Sisters music videos and their morning and night routine videos. I used to watch those on a loop over and over and over when I was a kid, and that's what made me want to be a YouTuber, and that's why I started my YouTube channel. The Met Gala. It's my dream to go to the Met Gala. I don't care. Even if I'm literally just watching people walk in, like, I don't care. I want to go. Vogue Beauty Secrets, self-explanatory. Pop culture moment compilations. You know, the ones that are like pop culture moments I think about daily. Like, I watch those. I watch the award shows. Sometimes award shows are super disappointing because it's like the artist who everyone loves and everyone's talking about. How about we don't give them the award and we give the person that nobody even knows who it is? The Grammys. Okay. Would you rather listen to Dance Monkey or die? I thought of that one while I was at work cleaning the floors because they were playing that song, and I'm like, did an actual monkey write and produce this song? Sorry, let me scroll past my Shakespearean sonnet to show you my pasta recipe. And I'm referring to my notes app. The next segment I decided to kill and hold a funeral for because it was actually not even a good idea. It was my hyperfixation segment because anybody who has actual hyperfixations knows that they're way more intense than what I was saying. I was just being like, oh, I kind of like ASMR, so I'm gonna put this down as a hyperfixation, but it's like those aren't really temporary. Like, as temporary as I was saying. I was like, they come and go so fast. No, they don't. I struggled to think of anything because I have my main hyperfixations, and it's not like I'm gonna have a new one every time I record a podcast. So, no more of that. And I feel like it's honestly kind of insensitive to people who has that affecting them negatively. Sorry. I didn't mean to just be like, oh, see, I'm hyperfixating. Like, shut up. You sound like someone who's like, oh, my OCD is going crazy because that's not. You're dumb. Now let's get to the actual meat of this episode. Sorry that I said that. Okay, I mentioned the phrase fake it till you make it in the beginning of this episode, so I want to talk about the effect that that phrase has actually had on my life. Because I used to be a super insecure girl. Like, I used to literally hate myself. So then I was like, I need to turn this around. So I started to pretend that I liked myself, and I would say things to myself and be like, I'm so beautiful, and I didn't believe it. But eventually, when I kept saying it over and over, I started to believe it. I used to look in the mirror and look for flaws, and now I look in the mirror and I see someone looking back at me that I actually love. And it wasn't all just, pretending that I was confident. There were so many other things that I did to grow, but that was one of the things that really helped me, was literally just gaslighting myself. And obviously, it's important to acknowledge your emotions, but it's important not to let them control you, which is obviously more easier said than done. It's important to acknowledge them and then find a way to move past them and heal from them, if that makes sense. But the phrase fake it till you make it, in the context of this episode, being delusional, that's what this is all about. Being delusional is important. If you're like, oh, I am literally the most successful person ever, you're gonna keep saying that, and it rewires your brain to actually believe it. The world is your oyster. You can achieve anything with a little bit of self-belief and hard work. Those are the two most important things in any dream: believing in yourself and hard work. And if you don't believe in yourself, you can literally force yourself to believe in yourself by tricking your brain. I know I might sound crazy to you, but that has helped me a lot. And it's actually backed by science. If you say something to yourself over and over and over, it rewires your brain. I'm not crazy. It's actually scientific. No dream is too big. Like, you can use delusion to believe in yourself. Yeah, people are going to call you crazy. People are going to call you delusional. But eventually your delusions, quote unquote, will become real. I am rewiring my self-doubt and negative thinking patterns by just pretending that I believe in myself. And I do believe in myself. It worked. There's still days where I don't believe in myself. So then I use that delusion, as some may call it. And seriously, whatever you say to yourself becomes your reality. Because if you're looking at yourself and saying, I hate my hair, you will. You will hate your hair. I think that the first thought doesn't count. You can shift it and be like, actually, I love my hair and it looks amazing. And then it feels real. Your thoughts and your words hold a lot of power. It's also so much better to sound a little bit crazy to people than to just be negative, because negative people are not fun to be around. It just makes the whole energy in the room shift to negativity if somebody's like, you're not being realistic. How would I shoot you? Sorry. I just hate being around people who are so negative. Like, can you be positive? I don't know, but being positive is one of the things that's most important to me. It makes you just feel so much happier and find so much more joy in little things and so much more beauty in life. If you're always looking at everything as like, oh, there's bad in it. Yeah, but there's also good in everything. Think about it. Literally, I have 700 plus pins on a Pinterest board with all of my dreams that I've laid out. Visualizing your dreams is also super important. I also write everything down. I have this belief that no matter what, I'm gonna make my dreams come true, and I don't care what anyone says, because there's people who project their insecurities and they're like, "Oh, you're not being realistic." And they're just mad. They're just mad. Ignore them. And I use anybody's judgments as fuel to prove them wrong. When I'm successful, they're gonna be like, "Oh." I even visualize simple things like I want a queen bed in my house when I move out. And I know that's like materialistic. Ugh. Everything that I want in my future, I visualize. Even sometimes I feel crazy to myself and I seem crazy to other people, but I genuinely don't care. It's not going to be so crazy when I actually achieve them. Being realistic is boring. But don't get me wrong, it's important to be practical, but it's also important to not be. It's important to be delusional and be like, ooh, la la la. But it's also important to think about things from a practical standpoint so you don't, get into a bad situation. Everything in life is about balance. You plan things out from a practical standpoint, but then you believe in yourself through your delusions. And don't let anybody tell you that any of your dreams are too big. Your dreams, somebody else has those. What makes you any different? Nothing is impossible. And I also am a huge believer in not settling for a life that you don't want just because your dreams aren't realistic. Yeah, they are. You just have to actually try. Like, I almost didn't go after this dream because I was like, what are people gonna think? Like, ooh. And then I was like, I don't want to have a job that I'm not happy with, because I was like, what if people think that that dream is stupid? Okay? Let them think it's stupid, because they're your dream. It's your life, okay? Because literally, I feel so passionately about this. I think about this every day. It's your life, okay? It's not going to be easy to achieve your dreams, especially if they're huge dreams. But the sky's the limit, and there's like so much going on in my brain, and I'm like overwhelmed because I can't get all of it out in words. You can't just let your dreams rot and be like, I want that so bad, and then not even go for it because you don't think you can. You don't know until you try, and don't give up just once because you failed just once. Yeah, you're gonna fail, but each failure brings you closer to achieving your dreams. And the difference between people who succeed and those who don't is resilience. Resilience is also the most important thing in achieving your dreams, because no path, no success, nothing is linear. Everything is gonna go ebb and flow. That's how you get to your dreams and what you want. An example is Sabrina Carpenter and Chad Barone. Actually, both of them tried for so, like, literally 10 years to make it. And now they're both household names because they were resilient enough to keep trying. And I actually talked about this in an essay. Emily Blunt, she had a really bad stutter and she almost didn't pursue acting because of it. And now she's won Golden Globes and everybody knows who she is. She's in The Devil Wears Prada. She's in A Quiet Place. Those are the only ones I've really seen. Sorry. But I love her. Oh, another example from my essay, Oprah Winfrey. She went through so much. I don't remember all of it. I didn't write it down, but she persevered and became one of the most successful women ever. So those are just a few examples. And people who achieve big things all have one thing in common, which is self-belief. A quote from Jennifer Lawrence, "I always knew that I was going to be famous. I honest to God don't know how else to describe it." She always knew, and she always believed in herself. And here she is. Okay? There's a reason that anything is possible is like a cliche saying. I believe that cliche things are more often than not true. Anything is possible with resilience and self-belief. Even if it requires a little bit of delusion, who cares if people are laughing at you and calling you crazy? Who's gonna be laughing when your dreams come true? You. And it just makes me like absolutely devastated when people give up on their dreams because they don't believe that they can do it. The reason that I'm so passionate about this is because I almost gave up on this dream. I almost didn't even pursue it because I was like, no, that's unrealistic and whatever. And the reason that I said that is because it was my projections of what people have said to me. But then I was like, you know what? Like, who cares? Why don't I just go for it? Yes, I still worry sometimes about what people think, but who cares? Like, I want to create a life for myself that I actually feel fulfilled with. And I don't want to settle for a life that I don't want. I don't want to settle for a job that I don't want, anything like that. There's a reason for every dream that we have. Like, we wouldn't feel that tug on our heart for no reason. I've always felt a tug on my heart to do this since I was literally born. I've always felt that, and I don't think that's a coincidence. There are also so many people who, this is one of my favorite things to think about, so many people who, since they were literally kids, had the dreams that they achieved in their adult life. Singers who would always sing when they were kids, write songs, and actresses and actors who loved films since they were little. Films. Am I British? There was actually an artist who came to my school in freshman year and talked to us about how this exact same thing. Most, if not all people, experience enjoying different things that reflect your career. I don't know. Sorry, I'm not making sense. I always wanted to do something creative, and I always loved YouTube as a kid. And the artist that came to my school always loved art since he was a kid and became an artist. And so, like, I don't think that's coincidence at all. I think it's your intuition telling you, like, this is what you should go after. There's also someone I know who did photography as a kid and now does it as her job. Kendall Jenner, she used to pretend to walk on runways. Olivia Rodrigo, Taylor Swift, and Beyonce started singing and songwriting as kids. As a kid, I would literally pretend to be a YouTuber. Like, not even just doing my skincare like everyone does, where I'm like, hey guys, I'm doing my skincare. Like, it would be 24/7. All day, every day, I would think about it and pretend. Even as a kid, I planned out YouTube videos that I might do, and I asked to be a YouTuber. I asked my parents when I was 13, and they said no, which I'm actually so glad because I was the most insufferable 13-year-old. I'm still insufferable. But I think it definitely happened for a reason, the way that it played out and when I decided to do it, because like especially 13 is so young. I was 15 when I started. That's still young, but like, you know, not as young. I was just reading my notes. It's funny. When I was a kid, I never thought I was actually gonna do it because I didn't think a simple girl like me could do it. You seriously just have to go for it because you never know what's gonna happen until you try. And I was also scared of being seen and judged, like when I did YouTube. But success doesn't come from comfort. I hate to break it to you, but you have to be a little bit uncomfortable in order to be successful. Like, literally, my favorite hobby is going against the societal norms as much as I possibly can. Like, I don't want a traditional job. I'm not going to public school. I don't want to go to college in person. I'm not going to literally get married and have kids by 18. Just kidding, not 18, but like, I just hate when like older people can't accept that not everybody wants to have the life that people had in the freaking 60s. Why did I say freaking? Like, oh no, I'm not gonna get married and have 20,000 kids by 20. I'm good, actually. Like, sure, maybe I'll have kids in the future, but not at a young age. I want to focus on my career first because that's honestly more important to me. Sorry. It just annoys me when people are like, what? What do you mean you're doing online school? That didn't exist back in the 50s when I was a kid. Shut up. Shut up. So now I have some little encouragement for you. I got all of these from my encouragement jar. I have a jar of little pieces of encouragement that I've written down from my own brain, from YouTube videos, from books, from movies, like literally anything where I'm like, oh, right. Success is never linear. Every single person that you see that's successful, they've had ups and downs. And the reason that they're successful now is because they didn't give up when things were difficult. Everybody has faced rejection. Everybody has faced rejection. Like, okay, sorry, divas. Back to what I was saying. Models and have faced rejection, and actors have faced rejection, and even people with traditional jobs. I mean, I feel like it's very obvious, but you're never gonna just immediately become successful. I'm so thirsty. I literally have my mouth has been so dry this whole time, and I have just been like talking so fast I haven't drinking any water. Ah! I'm going crazy on that thing. Wait, I'm gonna put my glasses on so I look smarter. I should have done this earlier. I just want to look like I know what I'm talking about, like for the thumbnail and stuff. Okay. Think about all of the struggles and failures that you've gone through or are going through. They are they are so worth it. Like they're gonna be so worth it. The ones you've gone through, they were worth it. You always learn something and grow from every struggle that you go through. Sometimes your path may feel slower than other people, but it just means that you're building a stronger foundation. And your paths are not the exact same. Everybody has a different path that they're on, and you don't have to compare yourself to their path. And another way that I've grown recently is, like I said, I used to look in the mirror and look for flaws, and now I don't. I used to see people and immediately feel envy and jealous and be like, oh, why can't I have that? But now I get inspired by them. Shifting your emotions and your perspective is so important. If you feel any negative emotion, you can shift it to a positive one, which I know is also easier said than done, but like you can find little ways to do it, and it takes a lot of time and practice because it took me a while to be able to actually feel inspired instead of jealous. Anyways, there's a lot of analogies actually with flowers that I love. So one of them is that flowers bloom in all different seasons. Some of them bloom in winter, some of them bloom in summer, some of them bloom in spring, some of them bloom in fall. And that's exactly when they're meant to bloom. So just because some other person, some other flower, some other person blooms in winter doesn't mean you have to. Maybe you're going to bloom in summer. See, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Another analogy with flowers that I love is when you plant a seed, it does not bloom immediately. The roots are the foundation, the roots are growing slowly but surely, and eventually the flower blooms. So that's what you're like. When you plant a seed, the roots are your foundation. You're building your foundation and then you bloom. And also, how and when success happens is not up to you. It's up to God or the universe or whatever you believe in. It's not up to you. Like, it's gonna work out. Just trust whatever timeline you're on because you can't control it. And that's not scary. That's actually a good thing. It's a lot less pressure. And I need to hear that. I try to control everything. The only thing you can control is what you do in the present moment. You can't control the past because it already happened. You can move on from that and forgive yourself. And the future is also not in your control. I mean, it is in some ways, but like you can do what you do in the present controls the future, but you don't have to worry about that. Temporary struggles don't dictate your future. If you have a day where you feel super doubtful and down on yourself, that doesn't take away from your future success. You wouldn't have your dreams if you weren't capable of them. I truly believe that. And also, stop being afraid of failure, because every single failure actually brings you closer to being successful and teaches you how to move on. And if you fail, you learn from it, and then it makes you even more successful. I want you, yes you, to think about your past self. Are there things that you wish you could have told them to stop worrying about? I can almost guarantee that there are, because I know personally there are so many things that I worried about, lost sleep over, that they happened and I was like, oh, that was easy. Now think of your future self. Imagine what they're trying to tell you right now. They want to tell you to stop worrying and dwelling on the past or dwelling on the future so much, because it's going to work out. Another saying is, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And I truly believe that whatever you believe you can do is what you can do. If it requires a little bit of delusion to believe that you can achieve your dreams, you can. Like, the second that you say, oh, I can't do this, you're going to give up because you think you can't do it. But if you say, I can do this, it's going to give you the inspiration to actually try and do it. I'm like gagging. I'm gagging you or whatever. If negative thoughts come up, you can still reframe them. Like, if you're like, oh, I can't do it, be like, actually, yes, I can. And then you can reframe it. A quote that I heard that I really love: if you knew where this path was taking you, you wouldn't be so worried about it. And I was like, oh, that is such a gag. Everything's gonna be okay, if you need to hear that. And also, everything that in your life that's gonna happen in the future is already written for you. There's nothing you can do to mess it up. And whatever you do will lead you to where your final destination already is. I don't know if that makes sense. It does! Your life is already all written out. So just relax. Literally just dream as big as you want. Like, nothing is gonna mess up your path. Also, if you're being realistic, you are holding yourself back. In some cases, okay? Sometimes being realistic is important. Like I said earlier, it's a balance. But don't be so realistic that you hold yourself back from dreaming big. If you like pretend and visualize enough, eventually that will become your reality. And also, another thing that I like to be very, very positive. One thing that I do is, if I want something, I never say if, I always say when. There's this city that I really, really want to live in. I mean, that I'm going to live in. So whenever I talk about it, I never say if I move there, I always say when I move there. So then it makes my brain be like, oh, it's happening. Life is really all about your perspective. Your life is only as good as your mindset and your perspective. If you view life as only bad and you're like, I have such bad luck, okay, you do then. But if you view life as this beautiful thing and you find beauty in little things, even if you're literally just like drinking your coffee in the morning, there's so much beauty in that. You get to do that. And you get to feel the sun on your skin or whatever. Like, you get to. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Instead of saying I have to, I say I get to. Sometimes I'm guilty of saying I have to, but I'm trying to stop saying that. Because I hate when people just complain about literally everything. I have this rule with myself where I only complain about things that I can immediately fix. I'm not going to complain about, like, I almost said my job, but I kind of do complain about my job. But if I do that, I reframe it and I say, actually, I'm so grateful that I have a job, because so many people would kill for that. You can romanticize so many little moments in your life, and that's one of my favorite things to do. Like, even if I'm just doing my skincare, I slowly do it, and I'm like, I love doing my skincare and doing this thing for myself because I love myself. Stuff like that. I truly believe that that's how you find true happiness, is by finding beauty in little things and viewing life as a privilege. Ooh, I am like absolutely eating this up. This is another quote that I saw on Instagram. This is about romanticizing things. Turn your shower into a spa, your breakfast into a tasting experience, and your bedtime into a retreat. The ordinary becomes extraordinary with intention. Light a candle while you fold laundry. Put fresh flowers on your desk while you work. Brew your coffee like it's a ceremony. These small acts of intentionality transform routine into ritual, tasks into treasures, and moments into memories. Stop saving joy for later. Later is never promised. Use the good plates. Wear the nice perfume. Dance in the kitchen. Make this moment enough. Your home doesn't need to be a mansion to feel like a sanctuary. Soft lighting, good scents, music that moves you, and textures that comfort you. These create atmosphere, not square footage. Life is a special occasion, so show up like it is. The account that posted that is called Vex King on Instagram. I don't follow them, but I truly believe, like I said, your life is only as good as your perspective and how you view it. Even if you want so many other things, it's important to stay in the present moment. Like, yeah, it's a good thing to be dreaming and visualizing your future. But like I said, everything in life is a balance. You have to balance that and focusing on the present moment and slowing down. I've been really trying to just slow down and be less distracted. I ate my breakfast today with no background noise. Actually, I was listening to music, but I wasn't like watching YouTube and eating it super fast. I was enjoying each bite slowly because I want to start doing that more because it's such a privilege to be able to eat breakfast in the morning. So why would I rush through it, you know? Wow, that was such a good episode. Let's move on to the last segment, Afterthought. I forgot to bring my little jar over here, so give me just a second. Wait, actually, let me break the fourth wall real quick, and I want to show you this jar up close because I didn't show it to you up close. That's what it looks like. If you're new here, this segment is where I just read like a little paper of something that I wrote like a few months ago that I don't even really remember what it is, and it's just like advice or a funny story or something like that. All right, let's see what we have this week. I'm super excited. Oh my god. Okay, this is a childhood story. It's not really a positive one, sorry. But I had a friend, quotes, who literally slapped me in the face when I was in like third grade. And I didn't even say anything. Like, imagine this. We were standing outside on the sidewalk in front of the school, like when school was out, just waiting to be picked up. And then we weren't even talking. And she just reaches up and slaps me across the face. Sorry, what did I do? I didn't say anything. I wasn't even looking at her. I was like, oh, she's my friend. And then I had another friend in fourth grade who literally hated me. Like, I didn't know that something was wrong somehow, but it's because I was young and I didn't understand what friendship was, even though, what? Like, it's not normal to act like that with your friends. Here are some examples of what she did. She told me to go to hell one time. One time I was wearing this ugly cardigan, which honestly, she was right, but she said, do you have to wear that? And then she rubbed bark chips in my face and my sister's face. She kicked my sister in the face. She would just say mean things to us all the time. And she actually made our teacher hate us. I was always like a goodie too. She was in school. I never had a teacher hate me until fourth grade because my friend was like such a bad influence on me and my twin sister. But the lesson with that is if someone treats you bad, don't settle for that because you deserve better. Even if you don't believe you do, you do. That's everything for this episode. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I had a lot of fun recording this episode because I'm super passionate about this topic. Comment below if you have any podcast episodes that you want to see and what you thought about this episode. I would love to know your thoughts, and make sure that you subscribe for more episodes like this and more vlogs coming soon. I will see you next time. Oh yeah, and also make sure you follow my TikTok. The aliens are abducting me. Bye. Love you. Also, I kind of want to do an episode where I just trauma dump. Let me know if you want that.